Now, I'm sure many of y'all have heard that Donald Trump is calling on the military to assist with mass deportations. I know it's a lot of people who feel a lot of different ways about it. I have my own personal opinion in the way that I feel about mass deportations and migrants and all of that too. But listen, I want to check this video out. I found it on News Nation. I want to check this video out from News Nation. Let's check this out real quick, and then I'm going to give some commentary.
Joining me now to give deeper insight is Lieutenant Chris Oliveira, spokesman for the Texas Department of Public Safety. Lieutenant, good morning to you. As always, thank you.
Good morning, Mark. Thanks for having me.
So Trump confirming on Truth Social that he would declare a national emergency and use military assistance in carrying out these deportations. That's the big picture. But, Lieutenant, when you zoom in on actual communities, what is that about to look like on a local level?
Marky, I think that there's been a lot of just the type of information that's been put out right now. And I go back to the campaign. I go back to what even Tom Homan has said on numerous interviews. The fact that, there's this perception that the new administration is going to conduct these mass deportations by going to houses and deporting people that are in the country right now. For the most part, the messaging that I know, that I'm aware of, that's been put out is that people that have crossed in the last 4 years under the current administration that crossed illegally, those that have orders of removal, which there's over 1.3, 1.5 million that already have, gone through due process and are ordered to remove, from the country, criminals, suspected terrorists, criminal gangs. Those are the priorities, from the current administration or the new administration moving forward, at least by the messaging they have put out. So I can see that happening. As far as everything else, I mean, obviously, people that cross or into the country illegally, that is a crime. That is federal law. But I have not heard or even seen anything as far as, going to deport people or look for people that have been in the country for decades. I think that's just the misconception that's been put out right now so far because of these new policies that are being put out.
With the millions of people who have crossed over in the last 4 years, who are now, kind of lost in the American fold, if you will, won't that require going door to door in some aspect?
I don't see it that way. I mean, this is a strategic operation. Tom Homan has said it again, being strategic, focusing on the priority, which is, public safety and national security threats. Those that have orders of removal, criminal gangs, those that have violent criminal backgrounds that have committed crimes in the country and other states. But also it's going to require cooperation from other states. It's going to require cooperation from local law enforcement because those are the ones that actually arrest some of these individuals and place them in jails where they do have a detainer, where they do report to ICE. So it is going to require that cooperation from those states, from those governors as well. Now, when you have, sanctuary cities or states that are not willing to cooperate, well, it's going to be very challenging for this new administration to advance their agenda and locate some of these individuals. But for the most part, the priority is to locate those criminals, the ones that have gone through due process, that are ordered to remove. That's going to be a very challenging task in itself when you have over 1.3, 1.5 million to locate.
And how do you see that? Because Trump has come forward and said he'll work with local law enforcement, local police departments, too. And to your point, they'd be the ones, making some arrests. Where do you see the military coming in, and what kind of role would they play in this?
Well, I mean, I think the military can be used in just, different examples. I mean, for one, I would say, what we've been doing in Texas with our own Texas National Guard, placing physical barriers along the river, being able to observe any type of illegal border crossings and report that to law enforcement, which in this case would be us, state police, but also repelling illegal border crossings, being able to stop illegal border crossings. Our National Guard have stopped tens of thousands of illegal immigrants that could potentially cross between ports of entry just by having a mere show of force, having the presence along the rivers. Now, I can see this at the federal level where, soldiers can actually use or gather intelligence, observe, any activity on the river and report that to U.S. Border Patrol agents, or fill those gaps along the border where you may not have enough agents, so those agents can actually focus on the criminals. So they can be used in many different ways. Also locating some of these individuals, these people that have gone through due process, the criminals, they can be used in many different ways as far as helping federal authorities to locate some of these individuals and provide, better border security.
And Lieutenant, just a few seconds left. If Trump were to come to you and say, okay, Lieutenant, where do I start in Texas specifically? How do you respond?
Well, I mean, Texas, I think we've done a real good job as far as, securing the border. 86% of illegal border crossings are down in Texas because of our efforts, because of our National Guard. But I would say that we need to focus on locating those criminals, the ones that have gone through the jail systems, that have gone through due process, trying to locate them and have better support from the federal level, which we have not had in the last 4 years. So I think that's a good start, providing that support. Of course, the new administration is going to have a strong ally with Governor Abbott and what we're doing in Texas. So I think working together, we'll be able to, provide a much safer state for us in Texas and also for the country by locating some of these bad actors that are in the country right now.
We'll see how all of this comes to fruition. But Lieutenant Chris Olivares, as always, thank you for joining me on Morning in America.
So listen, I want to just say this. I understand and I get it. America, the land of the free, so they say, right? But I personally feel like this. I understand people come here from other countries and they come here for opportunities, and some are seeking this, asylum and all of that based on what they're going through in their country. But you gotta come here legally. That's just how I personally feel. They said there's over like 1.5 million migrants that they're trying to find to vacate the country. Listen, let me just say this, right? Because I don't talk a lot about my political views, but I honestly, most of the time I feel split down the middle. Let me tell you, I understand, because I voted Democrat this year, right? Democratic Party, whatever. But I'm gonna tell you, I was not proud of it, but I still support it. But what I want to say is that there were policies that I identified with that Trump had, and then when it comes to the side of the Democrats with the damn mosquito in here, with the Democrats, right? I understand what the women's rights, I get that fully, right? But we have to be able to look at the full picture, and I get it. I understand it. I have so many women in my family, but I would be a liar to tell you that I was home over the summer and also last year, right? After the pandemic, and seeing how New York has changed so much. Now, I'm not saying that migrants and, people don't deserve to be immigrants and come to this country and make something of their life. But there is a lot of crime. There is a lot of, resources, money being spent on migrants. Let me tell you something. I've seen several videos with people. I haven't seen it really from New York, but you have to realize New York City and Chicago. I can't even say New York City because the migrants is upstate New York now too. They shipped them off. I went upstate New York and stayed with my mom in a 4-star hotel, and the whole hotel was pretty much ran over by migrants. This hotel that I went to when I was living in upstate New York in Albany and would go there just to do like some staycation type stuff, when I went there now, it's ran over. It's ran. Me and my mom, we didn't even, to be honest with you, I'm being blunt, we didn't even want to go to sleep because when we pulled up in the back, it was a whole bunch of people just hanging around in the back. It was weird. I'm telling you, it was a weird vibe. And people moving here displaced, not having the resources to take care of themselves, what do you think that's going to breed? Crime. It's going to breed crime. So I personally feel like this, right? While I say that I am Democratic and I voted for that party, I was not proud of it. Yes, I do think, first and foremost, we can't do anything. Trump already, he won the election, right? We got to see what he's going to do, just like we tried to see what Joe Biden was going to do. We survived under Trump before. Let's see what he does for the economy. Let's see if he's able to boost the economy and do some of the things that he said, and trust me, I get it. Some people come, you have to realize, even though you might love those family members and all of that, a lot of people, we can't go to other countries illegally. We can't go over there, and imagine you going to another country and trying to make it as an illegal. We would stick out like a sore thumb. So why should America be the dumping zone? You understand what I'm saying? I feel like with the Democratic Party, it's like if you say that you're all for one thing, they don't want you to be able to see the issues that lay within, like around it 360. No, the migrant issue is it's huge, and it does need to be tackled. And I'm sorry if you someone watching this video and you feel like maybe this is directed towards somebody in your family, but maybe somebody in your family should have came over here legally. That's just my personal opinion. I don't want to mince words. I don't want to put nobody down. And as you heard in the conversation that they were having, they're not looking for people who've been here 10 plus years and like that. They're looking for the people who came here within the first 4 years, the people who've committed crimes, released from jails and all of that. So who knows what that's going to look like once Trump gets into office. But the military is going to be used, for assistance to get a lot of these people up out of the country. I personally feel like we need it. I don't want to offend you. I mean, think about this. Like I said, how many can Americans go over to any country and just migrate to any country and just be able to get assistance, be able to get food, be able to get put up in places to stay? Now, I don't know, like, if there's any other countries that do that, but I just feel like, think about it. Why is everybody coming to America? It's like the dumping zone. That's not fair to us. You should be able to come over here legally. And people will ostracize me and say that I'm wrong for feeling this way. No, listen, Come here legally. And the crazy thing about it was is that I seen, like, when the election happened, I seen so many people wailing and going crazy against Latinos on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, mad at them. You want to know what's so crazy? I had a Mexican manager one time, and she even told me that the people who come over here illegally now, she was born in Mexico, came here legally. She said they need to come here legally. So it's not just because you're a Latino, you can't cap them and make them feel like there should be a free for all for everybody just because you're Latino and you came over here. Nah, I also met this Cuban girl who said the same thing. She came over here legally. Listen, you got to follow protocol. What happens when we go to these other countries and we don't follow protocol? We get thrown in jail for God knows how long. So why should this be the dumping zone? Why should you be able to come over here? You know what was so crazy? Eric Adams in New York City, once Trump won the election, he came out saying that he wasn't going to be giving no money to the migrants, that $300 and something dollars every week that they was getting. The average person who lives in New York City, who they can't even get $300 a week for food, and they probably need it with the rent being sky high up there. You understand what I'm saying? So like the money that was spent on the migrants, it infuriates everybody else who's in the area suffering, struggling. The people in Chicago, I'm telling you, when I used to watch these press conferences when they would be mad at that guy at Brandon Johnson in Chicago, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, the people who would be mad at him, you would see the poorest black people talking about they vote in red and that they want change in the city. Even though Illinois did end up still, being a blue state, the people in Chicago specifically were mad. And you can't, like me being in Texas, you heard what he said. He said that, that they do good. The migrant immigration, whatever levels are low with crossing the border, they're low. Texas where I'm at, Houston, whatever, it's not a sanctuary city, even though there are illegals here. But they said they do a good job with monitoring that. But look at all of the cities that are dumping zone. Look at all of the crime. I'm pretty sure if you look up on a weekly basis, you can find some sort of crime, probably daily, with crime happening in New York City, crime happening in Chicago. It was a woman I heard on a podcast. She was saying that they can't even go to their local park no more because it's been taken over by migrants. Migrants in the park selling food and doing all stuff like that. But you need a license to sell food. You gotta have certain jump through certain red tape or jump through hoops to be able to conduct business. So no, that's not fair. And open your business up if it's legal. Come to America if it's legal. And I feel like you shouldn't be ostracized if you have an opinion like that. I honestly, I wish that there was some sort of hybrid party, truly, because I feel like my views are split down the middle. I understand, like, the crazy thing about it is I understand the women's rights and, I understand pro-life. I understand pro-choice. I get both of them, right? I think that it's a woman's body. Let them do what they want, right? But you have to realize a person who serves everybody serves nothing at all. So I can be a man and I can understand 1,000% that the women, yes, they deserve their rights. But what's going on in this country? My family live in New York. My friends live in Chicago. They tell me I'm from New York. So am I supposed to ignore that and just be like, damn, both of these things, they matter. So this is why I said I'm a hybrid. I see the issues that go across the board. I understand the women's rights and all of that. To be honest with you, we seen what the Biden administration did. I voted for them, but I'm telling you, the day that I voted, I posted on all of my social medias. I really was not proud of my vote at all. And you want to know I voted that way? I voted that way because, and you're going to listen, I'm about to wrap this up, but you're going to gag when I tell you, I voted that way because my mom told me, like, all my life, and we spoke about it. I said, we vote Democratic. And even when Kamala lost the election, I spoke to my mom and she was just like, yeah, I didn't think she was going to win. And we both didn't think she was going to win. We both didn't think, but she said we just vote Democratic. And you also know that, you want to know something too? My mom told me and my uncle told me this too. Back in the day, they used to pay black people like $10 to make sure that they voted Democratic in the elections. Let me know if any of your family members have any of those stories. I don't know if they did it to whites too, but black people are constantly a target. My mother told me that my uncle told me that they would give them $10. They would send money to the house to make sure that you voted Democratic. Crazy, right? Crazy. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I was not impressed by the current administration at all. I was not impressed by Kamala's showing with the use of trying to use celebrities and all of that. She turned me off completely. And I'm gonna be honest, you just have to accept things for how they are. Let's see what Trump is gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I understand and I'm fully coherent that there's a lot of people who don't like black people who went that way. I understand it, right? I understand it, but it's a lot of people on both sides who don't like, I think a lot of people voted that way, with Kamala, basically based on identity politics and all of that. And I understand you could do whatever you want to do, but you have to realize there's other issues impeding this country. A lot of issues that are, the economy taking a hit. I really love the fact that Trump was, I know people looked at it and they said that, Trump placing tariffs will screw up the economy, but I honestly understand his scope where he was saying like he wants more of those automobile companies to, being that they will get taxed so high with those tariffs, that they will come over to America and build those factories here and boost the economy with having jobs and people build those cars here. I understand it. I get his plan, right? If he can execute it and if that can be done right, I believe in that. I truly do. But listen, I don't want to make this video too long. Get in the comments. Let me know what your take is on immigration. Do you think people should just be able to come here and if they don't get caught, oh, you here, you should be able to get a job, get benefits, get all of that? What about the people here who are already struggling? You know what the homeless rate is in every city, state to state, and all of that in New York alone, Chicago, people over there, the people, homeless people in the meetings with the mayor talking about, I've been homeless, I'm trying to get an apartment, and these people coming over here and getting XYZ. Why we gotta be mum about it? Why can't we talk about it without people trying to ostracize us and make it seem like we're evil and we're oh, you want to separate families? Well, the family should have came over here legally. Listen, potent, pondering, never pandering. Please get in the comments. Let me know how you feel. Feel how you feel, heal how you heal. But I still want to know what your take is on all of this. I'm up out of here. Peace.